Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Bob Randall and Company live preview show for Monday. This is a fabulous day, and I want to introduce the gentleman with four names. That's right, I said four names: Randall, Santa, Checker, Lee. But wait, there's more. He's a real Wagner. That's right. He gets so excited on Monday, he goes around wagging that tail. Randall Wagner, my partner. Hello, Randy.
Hey, Bob, how are you? Yeah, I try to get all those names in, Yeah, gotta
Yes,
fit it
sir.
in there on, Facebook somehow. Good to see you, Bob. Good to see
Pertinent to your
everybody.
portrayal.
Welcome to Monday. Back
Yep.
again. What a beautiful day. Thanks again for Phineas, Mike, for filling in for me last Monday. I was twisting last week, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. It was a fantastic weekend, and all I had was over the weekend was just a birthday party and a balloon thing at a church yesterday for their fall festival they had. So I had kind of a
And,
quiet weekend. It was kind of nice.
and folks, he says that like he didn't do anything.
It was a quiet weekend. It was. I actually think I worked more today swimming in that pool for a couple hours than I did doing balloons and magic over the weekend. But
Well, you know what? That's okay though. That's therapy. That's different. Work, I guess work can be therapy too, Randy,
yeah,
when
it
you
oh,
really
it
look
sure
at it
can. It sure
in the
can. It
sense
got me
of
through last year big time.
being able to do what you love doing is therapy if you enjoy doing it and it's not a burden on you, which obviously it's not, or you wouldn't do it. But therapy is a good thing. And you know what? We're just glad you're healthy, that you're here. You're of sound mind, and we love you, brother.
I don't know about sound mind. I don't know about that one. That one, Bob. You kind of stretched that one a little bit about being sound mind. Uh,
Well, uh, we're going to say, I care for you.
uh,
Hey, hashtag weather. Is that what it is, Angie?
Weather, and then you put in like your city.
Okay, hashtag weather, and then insert your city.
Let me do. That's only for YouTube.
That's only for YouTube. That's for those of you on YouTube. David, my mind's on YouTube. I noticed. Anyway, Angie's been playing around with this little added bonus thing that YouTube subscribers can use, and hashtag weather. That's spelled wrong, Angie.
Yeah, I'm going back to it.
Okay, it's not rather, but weather. Anyway, it's just a little fun something.
Oh, I didn't put my city.
Well, you got to put your setting in
I'll
there.
you
get
got
it
to,
in a
yeah.
minute.
It's not Yourcity either. Not your city. You haven't got to. Don't put that down, please.
Yeah, she's gonna get it right here in just a second.
You'll get
There
it.
it is.
Okay,
There
Angela.
it
It's Monday. It's okay.
is. You put that in, and it pulls up your weather for you, and you don't have to go searching for it. It's just a simple little hashtag, and that lets you know what your weather is in your area. What is our weather today, Angela?
I don't know.
It's not coming up
The
because you put a
weather's gonna.
space in it.
It might be just programmed for the TNL. I'll have to go in there and fix it. Let me see.
No, it looks like David got his in.
There you go. Weather, Hamilton, Ontario. Gray skies, coolest 69. No sun today. That's
Oh
we
wow,
had
man! I
some.
stepped out last night to take the puppy out before bedtime, and I almost thought I was going to need a jacket there for a minute. It was cool out here last night for Texas this time of year. We're grateful because we have
Oh,
been known to this month as well as July and August to be really hot at times. So anyway, fantastic. We've had a fairly cooler day here today. It's been nice. Fall is in the air. You can see the change coming, and we are happy here.
we already have some trees that are just already turning here in color. They're already we've gotten down into the 40s a night or two, and it's back up and going to be 80 in the 80s this week anyway during the day, but it's tipping down to the 60s and 40s, 50s at night. But it's that big fall span up here now. But I couldn't believe when I was driving this morning, going, "There's a trees. Those few trees are already changing it. It's
Yeah,
nothing."
and there are some, very few, but some areas in the highest elevations in the lower 48th has had a dusting of snow already. So, as I said, the seasons are changing, and I love this time of year. You know, other than those who suffer with pollen, allergies, that sort of thing. You can't beat it. Absolutely gorgeous time of year when the trees change, the air gets
Oh,
cooler and brisk in the morning. So
it has even a
Yeah.
different smell to the air in the fall. It really does. And those cool nights for sleeping, you get a little curled up with that blanket, and the warm. Then the daytime is nice and sunny and warm. It's a great time of year. It really is.
yes, it is.
It's
I see other folks trying to use the hashtag. I don't know.
Set it up for Bob Randall and
Okay, she says she doesn't think she has it set up for today's show. She only had it set up for a Tuesday night, but she will do that, and it'll be something in the future that we can play with. And there's a whole list of hashtags she's put together. Once she gets it set up for the Monday Bob and Randall show, then we'll share that list, and you can go in and play around. Get bored, gives you something to do.
I remember when that thing was just a pound sign and not a hashtag sign. You remember it was just a pound
Yeah,
sign, wasn't it?
yeah,
Wasn't it just a pound sign years ago?
pound sign, or in some cases used as a number, a symbol for the number, like number one, number two, number
Yeah.
three, that sort of thing in outlines. But yeah, hey,
Now
the
it's
hashtag has come a long way.
now it's changed a whole new other meaning for does so much more now than it ever did before.
Yep, yeah, for sure. Doug Wright says in Michigan it's time of donuts and apple cider, and that is great smell along with the trees turning color. True. See, Doug is from up y'all's way, Michigan area.
Yeah, we've
Living
got
here in Dallas,
oh yeah.
Texas, I know at times he misses Michigan when it's hotter than heck here, but I'm sure he likes the winters in Dallas. So we'll leave
There's
that up to him. To,
there's always that trade off. That's the thing. But boy,
yes, sir.
those apples, the cider mills are so much fun to go to, and they smell so good. And those donuts, you can pop them just like candy. Oh, now I'm hungry.
Oh man, oh man. Well, I guess that's a great segue for our next segment. Then
Yeah, got to get something to eat.
gotta get that burger.
Lick them
Are we
lips.
ready, Angela?
I'm ready.
Let's do it. All right, as always, we are going to let Randy throw that question out there. He's got. He's got a good one for you today, as always. And love to have it, Randy.
This one here actually is it actually affects me all year long when I do my shows, even as my magic and clowning and everything else. It affects me all year long, but it really affects us as Santa, Mrs. Claus, and all that. And here it is. How do you handle it when you cannot tell if a child is a boy or a girl? And if you say hello by mistake and say you call a boy a girl, how do you fix that? So I mean, it's. I was in fact I was at church yesterday, twisting balloons, and thank goodness I heard that the young lady was a young lady because she looks just like her brother, almost identical. It was a young lady and a brother. I wouldn't have known either. I would have said, "Hey guys, how you doing?" And I would have, especially now how things are about misrepresenting the child. Um, how do you how can you tell, or what do you do to so you don't have to worry about that? How does that work for you, Bob? I know you've got hundreds of thousands of boys and girls come up to you at the mall, and
You would not believe how many times I have made that fatal mistake, and they will let you know about it in a heartbeat. And if they don't, older brother or sister will. If they're younger, I got called out by one boy that really got upset with Santa because he called his little sister a boy. And I just, of course, try my best to apologize. I'm so sorry. Santa wasn't paying enough attention, wasn't looking. I mean, what did you say? I mean, you apologize and say I'm sorry. I'll make sure I do better next time. So some Santas have said that I've had this conversation with candidly. Just stay neutral. Don't call it a boy or a girl. Just say, something that fits both genders. That way you don't catch yourself in a bad spot or make that mistake. But yeah, I've even had parents call me out, you know, But
I
I'm just
mean,
really quick.
what is a good? What is a good? I'm curious about what the people say
Oh,
too. What is a good middle of the road that covers both? What you can't say
let's say
sweetheart, dude. You can't say buddy. You can't say pal. You can't say young lady. You met young man. What is the proper hi child? What is the? Just curious.
yeah, let's see what everybody has to say on that one
Yeah.
because that's the interesting part here is to see how everyone else handles it. I
You
mean,
make a mistake, how do you cover it up? That's something. I mean, I've because I know I've done it before. There was a young man last year. He had a cute little bun in his hair, and he actually even was wearing a skirt. And it was a young man, and I thought for sure I wouldn't have had a problem. You know, but so
like
see
just
what
like
we've
you
got
said,
here.
my very first year at the mall, I had turns out to be a little boy, but had a bun, comes running from down the mall way, hollering Santa, Santa, Santa. And I reach over, start interacting with the child, and another one walks up, and they look like twins. Actually, turns out they were cousins, but I swear they look just identical to each other. And the second one was a girl, the first one was a boy, and I made that mistake. And it turns out that little boy just loved Santa so much, and they got where they were coming to the mall regularly. I'm talking about every week, and he would come running. Of course, after the first time, I didn't make that mistake again, and I would call him out by name before he got to me, and I'd grab him and pick him up. He just wanted Santa to hold him, and he'd hug on me. And it turns out the grandma was who was with him that day, and they the daughter and family ended up moving out of state. Well, not out of state, but down to South Texas, and I didn't get to see him anymore after that. I still stay in contact with her through Facebook, and she said time and time again she was going to bring him to see me, but they haven't ever showed up again. But for 2 seasons, though, I mean, I seen the little boy pretty much weekly, and he was just one of my favorite children because he loved Santa so much. He just warmed my heart every time he come running. His name was Noah, by the way, but cute little boy. But yeah, you swear he was a girl. I don't. I mean, I asked my crew, every one of them, and they all thought he was a girl. So
Yeah.
it
So
wasn't just a
that's
mistake Santa made. It was just that look. And I had another one a few years ago, same thing. And of course, after that first year, Mama jumped all over me. I remembered. And so let's see what everybody else has to say. Go ahead,
yeah.
Randy.
Santa Doug says you can't ask the name because what if it's Pat? Like it could be Pat, Chris. Um, I had one. It was a Brooke. It said Brooke, but it was a young man. I thought Brooke was a young lady's name, and
Yeah.
Brooke was a boy. So yeah, you can't even ask the name ahead of time. But that's kind of, to me, that's kind of past tense. That's after the fact of greeting. How do you greet them and not make the mistake? That's the thing. I mean, we can ask them their name when they come up, but you've got to say hi. I mean, maybe that's what we should stop at is hi. Good to see you today. Oh, Santa, so glad to see you. But curious. Um, Charlie
Randy,
Johnson says, um, "Hello, young person. What would you like for Christmas, young person?" Um, that's a good one. Um, just Gary Linder says, "Hello, how are you?" Works for me. So maybe don't even need to differentiate um, the whole thing. Good idea, Gary.
well,
Um,
if you have more than one Randy, and you do know, for instance, the older brother's 8, and you can tell he's a boy, and then he has maybe some siblings with him, and you're not sure, you can always, and I've used this one before, but this only works on occasion if you're set up this way. But say, so young man, who did you bring with you today? Who is this you've got with you? And let them kind of
let
introduce you
them.
to
This
them.
is my sister, my brother. Yeah, okay.
If they
Um,
use Pat or Bobby again, as Doug has said, that could be generic. You don't know.
Ray Bradshaw says, "I just say hello. How are you doing?" Or I say kiddo to avoid an issue altogether. Very good. Hi, Jenny Lynn. Good to see you. I talk about their shoes first. Make a comment about their clothing first before they get a little idea. I mean, some girls wear boys' high tops, especially Converse and things like that. They all look the same to me. But um, uh, AJ, good to see AJ. I would say how are you? I would say How are you works a lot better for me. Just how are you? Um, Santa Doug, you could just say hello, little ones. Um, Here we go. Doug Wright. I got to add on to here. Doug Wright says, great question. I've made the mistake before once. Ever since I've waited for mom or dad to introduce the children to me, or I use Mrs. Claus to run interference and checks before they get with me. I now also ask the children's name, ages prior to the visit, which can help. But some are newer names, parents' names. Their kids are getting harder. Uh, Now, the names are getting harder too. They're not as easy to remember as Mary and Sue and Bobby and all that. Um, I've made the mistakes assuming that the child has a mom and a dad, and that's
Another
another
problem.
one I was gonna bring up about. Oh, how's dad? Is that no? That's not dad. Oh, sorry, I didn't know. Um, I have several two mom families in our visits. You have to do your homework, uh, then home home for home visits for Santa. Definitely home visits for Santa. You can do your home. You can do your homework. Um, you should have all that information down on your sheet that you send out to any home visit. But if you're doing a corporate event and there's a breakfast with Santa, you get no prep time. You get no prep with these children. If you're doing a mall or a big box store, they're just coming up. So it really is great for a home visit because then you can know that this family, the Smith family's got two girls and one boy, um, and that's okay. But that's it. Any kind of corporate events or things, you gotta do it the other way. Charlie Johnson again says, I asked them, who are their adults? Who are these adults that brought you to see me? So, yeah, that's asking a question about mom or dad. Who are the adults with you guys? Um, because it
You
could
see,
be, you might even assume it's grandma, but it's not grandma, just mom's looking a little older, or vice versa. No, that's not my mom, that's my grandma. And sometimes it makes grandma happy if you call her young, but
yeah,
but um, it's that we have to now it seems even more to be more assuming of what's there or like who said it here about two mom families. Doug did. There are two dad families, two mom families, single families. So it's something that you just can't assume anything anymore. um,
blended families, families that the mother and father may come with the new mother and father. What I'm saying is each couple is remarried and they come as a group.
yeah,
That has happened before too. I
yeah.
like Jackie Dozier's answer. My favorite.
Am I gotten there yet there?
It was above Charlie's.
Yeah, Charlie's hello little elf.
Yeah,
Hello little elf.
that one I may have to steal from you,
Yeah,
Jamie.
that's a cool one. Hello, little elf. Wow. Jenny Lynn says also she refers to them as little ones,
Yeah,
as as littles. Um, Spangle just says he's watching. He doesn't have any opinion here. He's just watching. Um, Sal says the best thing is not to use any pronouns. Talk to them in a generic like. That is what you like. What would you like for Christmas? Not we don't need to do the thems, the theys, and all these kind of things, or even to put, like I said, if it's a girl, if it's a boy. And I've always been for years. A boy was, hi dude, how you doing today?
yeah,
And it's my
yeah,
Santa deal, or it's a young lady, it's a little sweetheart. Hi sweetie, how are you?
yeah.
But you just can't anymore. Even those things can be misconstrued as something that just doesn't work, and that's but I popped this up again yesterday when I did a thing at a church I didn't know at a church function. I couldn't tell the difference. So I think it's very important that we don't get ourselves in hot water. So
Well, in today's society, it's hard to be PC because everybody gets offended so easy.
yeah, man, it's so easy. Ray Bradshaw says, for me, works. How are you folks? Jenny Lynn also says, reading the room. There are children, kids is kids is kids. Um, Start talking about the weather, hobbies, North Pole, computer, elves, etc., and get them talking, and maybe you can hear a voice pattern about
Yeah,
or how they're if it's a boy or a girl that way. Um, Let them reveal what is important to them.
great point.
And being a boy or girl is probably not important when you're 5 years old. You're just out to have fun and see Santa and get toys. That's the most important part. It really isn't. Like Jenny Lance, that's not the most important thing. If I'm want to identify as a boy or a girl, I just want to have fun and be a kid for as long as you can. Um, uh, Deborah Deborah says that I can't say that word. A big box store that sells sporting goods wants you to say hello, friends. That's another great line. Hello, friends. Very easy and very non-descriptive, but it puts a personal thing as friends to connect the two. Kat says hello. Oh, Spangle says actually I'm just listening over the speaker. Okay, no problem in the band speaker. That's why you're not talking, Spangle. No
Yeah,
problem.
they're still
Yeah.
traveling. They're not quite home yet.
Yep, we got another one here coming in. I think there. Whoops, there we go. Uh, Ray also says, I work with a huge transgender client here in Dallas, Denton, and I strive to make them all welcome in my chair. And that is what Ray said on the bottom there is is the major line so far to make
Yeah,
them comfortable and welcome in the chair. We don't want to make if it's a child, if it's a teenager, if it's a you know an older person, an adult. We don't want them to feel uncomfortable with Santa, and so to come up with how we don't identify the wrong way with someone um, is really a um, is really a necessity now. I think now more than ever. I think you could get away. I remember years ago, going back in Magic, you could do a birthday party, 5-year-old, 6-year-old, 10-year. You could put a sword through their neck. You could use a pair of scissors, real scissors that are 12 inches long. You could do a wrist chopper. You could do all that stuff back then. There's just no way can you do that anymore. It's just not acceptable for a young child. And that's even with Santa now. You have to worry about how you even identify um, with the children. And I know I've made those mistakes very easy because you can you're going to swear on your life that that's either a young boy or a young girl, and you can be wrong, or just you're used to doing it for 25, 20 plus years, saying the same thing. Hey, dude, how you doing? I'm not a dude. I'm a girl. Oh, I'm sorry, or whatever it is. And you don't want to, like Ray said, you want them to feel welcome in the chair with Santa, and that's a great, great line, Ray. That is what we need to do. That's why I wanted to bring this up to see what else everybody else is doing. I really like the one that um,
hello, hello
and
friend.
Everett said, just say hello, friends.
All right, little elf.
Hello, friends. It's very easy to read. You don't have to remember anything. You're just my friend. Or the elf one is cute, is very cute. Hello, little elves. So that's
Yep.
good, good, good. As always, guys, that's what's phenomenal about everybody that watches. We got a big one. We got one here from Jeff here. I'm gonna have to. Whoops, that's too far. Where? There we go. Um, Jeff says, had a young child come up with long blonde hair, pink leggings, pants, purple, t-shirt with unicorns on it, and said, "How are you, young lady?" The mom went berserk on me, screaming at the top of her lungs that it's a boy, demanding the manager that I was fired on the spot, and wanted to lots of free stuff, quickly correcting, and said, "Let Santa adjust his glasses so I can see how." And the child was fine with it all about the mother. Was off the chain, telling other visitors, screaming at the people that did not agree with her. The management only asked me to use more caution. So now it's just hello, little friend. And I I wouldn't blame Deb for saying hello, sweetheart, or hello, young lady. If you're wearing if you have long blonde hair, pink pants, leggings, and unicorn shirt, I would I would make that mistake. I mean, it's a, but we can't because we want to do exactly what Ray said, make them feel welcome and comfortable in the chair. So it's got to be, hello friends or hello little elves or whatever. Um, and she wanted you fired and out of there immediately. I mean, that's how angry some, or they can get offended, like Bob said a while ago, how offended they get so quickly, um, over that.
That's the society that we live in nowadays. That's reality. That's what it is. That's what's out there. That's what you've got to deal with.
Yeah, so it's I'm on most of my shows now. I have, you know, changed as much as I can and not say that at all. I just have been saying hello, but in my magic end of it. But with Santa, so I like to be, come on up here, bud. Come on up here. You know, it's got to change. It's got to be the friends or the elf or whatever. I think I'm going to use
Yeah.
the friend because that seems to fit me, my personality, or my character in Santa better than the elf one. And but that's something we have to do because we don't need what possibly could have happened to Jeff be fired and caused other problems. You know,
But for us, Randy, we're set in our ways. We kind of have our own speech patterns in our
right?
brain. It just rolls out off the end of our tongues, and as you've said, it's something that we really got to be cautious about now going forward.
Yeah, because I mean, whoever, any Santa or Mrs. Claus that have done it for years, how many
Same.
hundreds of thousands of children have you spoke with? So it just, like Bob said, just rolls off your tongue. That's how you greet them. That's your personality. But we have to change our personality when it comes to this now, just so we don't have to. We don't want to offend anybody for one thing. We don't want to, if that's because we don't want to say the wrong, gender that way. But we don't need. We want to make every visit a positive one, and that could really deter it. So
You know, Kane's got a point there, and I was thinking the same thing to myself, Kane. And again, when you go back a step further and you look at why Santa has to have liability insurance.
it's all it's those chosen few that wanted to make money. It's those chosen few that wanted to. Well, like Jeff said, she demanded or wanted a bunch of free product or something like
Yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah,
So she was just, again. I don't know for sure. I don't really know for sure. The old fashioned is innocent until proven guilty. So I don't know for
right.
sure. But there are, like he said, there are those that just want to cause a problem and get something in return, and we can't
And
leave ourselves open for that either.
I've thought to myself when a situation like that has arisen, and not only as Santa, but in life in general, is gosh, I wonder what kind of home life those children have. Starts making you question the adult in the family, uh, their motives and the way that they act. If they act that way in public, how are they at home with the children? And us being children's entertainers, that's just something that crosses your mind
Mhm.
at times. I like Ray's question there too because darn, he has a good point.
Yep, it says. So, what am I supposed to be offended of today? I can't keep up.
Can't keep up. Can't keep up.
Yeah.
Even if you
Um,
stand in the middle, you can't keep up because this side's doing this and this side's doing that,
mm,
and you're caught in the middle.
yeah, the middle doesn't work anymore. But then you can't be on either side because that's too extreme for the other side. So,
Yep.
um, yeah, it's. I just was curious, but I think for me, I'm gonna do everything I can to get that friends word out only, instead of trying to say buddy or sweetheart. I do what Jenny Lynn does too. I love to compliment. Hey, but I'll say, hey, dude, man, what a cool shirt you got on, or sweetheart, oh, what a lovely dress, or I love your shoes, But I'll say that sweetheart or dude first, and I'm gonna say, my friend, you look fantastic. I you got a great whatever. I always like to compliment on the clothing,
Something
like
I
get them to
always do.
talk. That's just me, but I always put the gender before that, and it's not really a gender. It's just a uh, uh, and because I don't know their names.
Pattern
Um,
of speech.
right, pattern of speech. It's not. I'm not. But they think then we're labeling, and we don't want that because we want to do what we need to do, and that's what it says, that welcoming into the chair and feeling comfortable.
But you
Um,
know, I've even caught myself, Randy, and something I've always done as well is compliment. I always try to start off the conversation with a compliment.
right.
Compliment them on the shirt they're wearing, like you say, or the shoes they've got on, or maybe a ring, or just whatever pops out in your mind first. You really got to be careful with that nowadays too. I mean,
Yeah, because if you say, "Oh, what a nice what a nice dress you have," are you hitting on my daughter at Yeah, and that's
exactly, exactly.
what could be a concern. I know a Santa years ago that was let go of his contract because he was looking, but I know the gentleman. I knew him for 30 years before even Santa, and he might have been looking, but he wasn't looking. He was never kind of guy to look dirty at somebody. But the parent or whoever it wasn't even a young lady, it was a teenage girl. That and then they he was gone, and it just
Yeah.
happens. And that was probably 10 years ago now. Even that happened. So I think things have gotten even stickier now about stuff. Um,
Well,
so
and how many times have I mentioned the fact that when you're sitting in a chair and a female brings you a small child, a toddler, a baby, and they've got a low cut top on, you better make darn sure you're not looking in that direction. You better make sure that as
right,
that approaches you, you look off to the side, or you look over
yeah,
here, or you look up or something. You don't focus your attention, although you're trying to grab that baby or that child, and you're trying to see what you're doing. That can also be misconstrued.
very misconstrued. A lady's wearing a shorter skirt and she's squatting down in front of you, and you look straight ahead to get the baby, and uh, yeah, it's something you have to be very careful with. Um, very careful.
And it's just
So
so easy to get yourself in trouble and not even be trying to.
right, without even trying.
Yeah, without even trying. Dana's got a good point. She says that's a reason for continuing education. And it really is, Dana. And not only education, but just topic sharing. Exactly what we do here with these two first segments that we
Right.
have. Not here, but at every event that Santa's and Mrs. Claus attend, if it's an eat and meet, if it's a conference, if it's a school, if it's just a weekend out with some of your friends that are also in the Red Soot community. These are all things that you can talk about. And the more we share with each other, the better we are.
Yeah, I mean, and that's what she said. That's what we can help each other out this way, and we're better together. And thank you for everybody always sharing. Thanks, Doug. That was a juicy burger question.
Yes, it was.
Yeah,
All right, well, heck, let's move along.
let's do
We
it.
spent half an hour here already, and
Yeah,
I'm afraid that mine's going to open up a can of worms. And you know me, I don't say but just a few words when I ask my question. So let's see if we can get this one out there. And this one again goes back to continuing education, intellectual property, copyright, and trademark. That's something that we all seem to, I think, in the back of our minds understand, but there's a lot of new people coming into our industry that don't get it. They just don't understand that you just can't go out and take something and use it for your own. Okay, so if you knew, and this is just a hypothetical, if you knew that a person had made a product, that product is original. When I say original, I mean that design had never been produced before for sale in our industry. That product had been sold on the market for years. Say they developed it in 19 or 2015, just whatever number you want to throw in there. And it's been out there for 5, 6, 7, 10 years. And due to health reasons, this person decides that they're going to cease making that product and they're going to shut down their company and sell existing inventory and anything that took to make that product. But they clearly stated face to face to you, they did not want the intellectual property rights, copyrights to that product to be reproduced. Now, if you think about that, the originator of a property, once they die, are protected for 70 years in the future. That's why you see Coca-Cola, Disney, some of the others, Rudolph, still protecting their intellectual property copyright. Would you say it's okay to steal that design and begin manufacturing said product and take a chance that the family would never pursue you for infringement in a court of law? Or would you say, would it be unethical and disrespectful? In other words, would that be a chance worth taking? Again, hypothetical, but it does make us all think about how careful we have to be, as Randy's first question showed us, about what we do as professional entertainers, clauses, and children's entertainer in general. I mean, Randy doesn't only entertain children; he entertains adults and children. So,
Yeah, I mean,
but
we need to. It's not just. There's got to be ethics in the whole thing. There really does. Um, and a lot of people don't know out in the real world out there. I will say, not in the red suit community, how much we train and connect and how big this community is. So they don't understand why we can. Oh, just do it. What's the big deal? But it's this is a multi-million-dollar business, the Santa business. Doesn't matter which way you look at it, between performing, suiting, educate. There, it's multi-million dollars every year spent on this industry um, from us, and so we can't afford to do that. I was, I thank goodness the other day I showed you this trick the other day about thing, and I made a mistake by Rudolph's name. I spelled Rudolph wrong. And Ken said the other day, well, you spelled Rudolph wrong. I said, well, no, I did, but it's all for a reason. You know,
on
you
purpose.
really can't. You can't say it's Rudolph, like you can't say it's Mickey Mouse. You can't. You can't use the image. That is the image, which is not good. But at least I spelled the name wrong. But that's really taking it a chance. I there's. I mean, there's other things I could do. A snowman's very generic. I didn't have to use Rudolph, but you really I so many things we shouldn't take a chance on. It's just and it's not ethical. There's that thing called karma that I always look at that it can come back and get you. So I say no.
Yeah,
I mean, I made that as a thing, but
yeah,
so
exactly. And Ray Bradshaw has a good point. The Grinch is another one that you got to be careful with. And there's reasons for that, but you know, for me, out of respect, if someone says my father started this company and he turned it over to me, and I've got other things that is more important to me than to continue to produce this product, but I don't want to get rid of the IP because my father told me no. When someone says no, no means no, does it not? I mean,
yes,
that's one thing in the PC culture that we know. No
yep,
means no.
no.
And so this, like I said, it was just a hypothetical. I thought we'd throw it out there, kind of get our brains. I like to be thought provocative.
Well, can I mean, you think about it. We could talk about look what's closing. Pro Nose is closing.
Yeah,
You talk
I know.
about a company that's closing that's been around for a while. They're closing the end of the year. What if
Yeah.
somebody wants to, do that? Um,
Someone mentioned that Jeff McMullen take it over, and Jeff said he couldn't. He just couldn't do it. That Leon meant too much to him for the thought that he might fail with Leon's company. Of course, now that's all going to be up to the family and to the wife,
yeah.
Leon's wife, but that that's still a sad day in our community to know that that's going by the wayside. Let's pick up some of these
Yep. Some of those.
comments over here. Looks like Sean still had one for the first question there, Randy. You want to catch it?
I gotta go back here. Where did Steve
Wait,
Lux? Whoops! I gotta go back a little further.
What's an
There we go. Here we go. I found it. I say to all the children, I'm happy
that's
you
definitely
are here
start
today.
drawing on
I try to
these.
help
try to
out.
help out?
Yeah, try to help with the problem that might be. It just, how are you children today? Use the word children instead of, yeah. That's what Sean. That's from Sean White.
Yeah.
All right.
Nick Okay, so back to the second question. Nick Casey, I believe this is towards that one. Said should be in the purchase contract. That's correct. If someone's buying the existing inventory and they are buying the tooling, but yet the family doesn't want to let go of the intellectual property or the copyright or whatever legal uh, entity that they're bound to that they don't want to get rid of, that should be stated in that sales contract that this is what's included in this price, but this is not. Uh, AJ said he would say it's unethical and disrespectful. Unethical, and Gordon Bailey set Bob course. Out of all 4 books that he has that we use in that school, the red book, the business book, ethics is my number one topic in there that I think is the most important in our community. And for those who's been to a Set Bob's class, as Ray Bradshaw has and Doug Wright has, you know that I say that every time that this is a topic. I start my day off with the first day is a couple of topics in here we're going to talk about. And ethics is to me the most important because it's so easy to let your guard down and do something again, not even be trying to get in trouble, but get in trouble. And so ethics is something that should be on the front foremost of your mind as you start a business. Santa is a business, and think about what is right, what is wrong, and try to stay on the right side of the law. Because, as I have mentioned, I don't want to get a rogue attorney coming after me for something that I nonchalantly didn't understand or didn't think through. Do your homework. All I'm saying is do your homework if you venture off into anything like that. Senator Jeff B says absolutely not, and could lead to more trouble than you would ever make on a product. Exactly, and products cost a lot of money to start, even if you pick up someone else's product that they've already started. For instance, for me, Santa Bob, Robert King had started the badge and wallet, the red badge and wallet, and had produced 100 of them. And they had sold 49 or 51. I don't remember the exact number. Just before him and Shirley went on a anniversary trip overseas, Bob liked to sing karaoke. The very first day at their destination, he was singing karaoke, fell over, and died with a heart attack right there. And so there was, a few weeks went by, and there was some people on some of the Facebook groups at the time asking about the badge and wallet and what was going to happen with that project. And me being friends with Bob and Shirley, I wrote Shirley and asked her, and she didn't answer me. Of course, this was before Christmas. And everybody was wanting to get one before Christmas. So anyway, January she wrote me, so I'm sorry I didn't answer you, but I was still in the grieving process, and I do want to sell the remaining badges and wallets that Bob had built. And so, I mean, those sold in like 2 days. They were gone. And so I went to her and asked her, what she was going to do. And she said she was closing out everything that Bob had started, including the badge and wallet. So I offered to take up that project and continue it going in honor of Bob. And she signed over the rights to me and made it public with a public statement that I was taking over that project for now, and it was mine. And I continue that. Me and Spank will still have a lot of those. I think I've got one in here for me. Badges and wallets left. We had a second run of those made, and we still got plenty of them. Anyway, pretty cool little project, but that's the proper way to do it. Okay, back to the comments. I know I got off on a sidetrack there, didn't I?
No, it's
Doug
all a part of it.
Doug Rice says, "Oh gosh, no! 30-year marketing executive, you can be sued, and your insurance will not cover for you for that. Copyrighted and trademark things are nothing to fool around with." That's correct because again, if something comes up, you've got to pay an attorney to represent you, and that's going to cost you a ton of money, has been mentioned. Ernie says, I have a trademark and copyright to protect my brand and logo in 3 categories. Should never take the chance and use it. It took me a couple of years working money to have it done and protect my brand. It does. It's a long process, Ernie, to go through those, any of the legal matters. And again, it's not cheap. It's costly. So those are definitely things you want to protect. Nick Casey says, when I need to talk, Ernie, love to hear more about, okay, that's a conversation between Nick and Ernie going on. Doug comes back and says, Santa Doug, that is, I think it would be harder to ask the question, could you sing Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer at an event that you're charging, even though lots of people do because children want that, it's still also protected. So what do you do? That's a good point, Doug. Now, also back to my question. If you make a one-off, say for instance, you saw something that someone else had made and you wanted one, but you couldn't afford their price, and you could find a way to make it cheap enough, you could make yourself a copycat of that. And I don't think, and I could be wrong, it's just me babbling here, but I think that you could probably make yourself one as long as you didn't sell that product, for yourself, a one-off. But if you go into manufacturing and start trying to sell that, then that's when you've crossed the line. Someone
Yeah,
correct me if I'm wrong.
yeah, you might. It might be the ethic might be kind of to make it yourself, but we understand sometimes you can't afford it. It's when you sell it, definitely that's when it totally crosses the line that you are now making a profit on their idea and their product that you're making yourself. That's when it really crosses. I don't know if the other one does. It might emotionally or something like that, but um, we all know sometimes we can make some things at home. It's rough to say that, but um, it's that. But they're not profiting. And that question about Rudolph, as far as I know, you're still not supposed to sing it because, and also if you think about it, somebody in that house, somebody in that corporate event has got one of these, and they're listening to doing this around, listening to everybody sing, and that then it's on tape. That's why when we did virtual like crazy a couple years ago, bing bing bing, you can't do bing bing bing, can't do bing bing bing, can't do. It's taped. But now, how many people have cell phones? There probably is an event that's not taped somewhere. It's sad, like I said, because Rudolph is such a great song to sing. Everybody knows it.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
so it's to your discretion, but it's being videotaped by somebody.
I mean, I've never heard of anyone getting in trouble for just singing it,
Yeah.
but hey, again, there's always that chance, I guess, in today's world that we live in. Jeff B says even common courtesy on something as simple as name needs to be accounted for. When I first started, there was another Santa Jeff in the area, and we had a nice conversation, and I started using Santa Jeff B. Well, that was nice, Jeff, and that's a good way to sidestep that. And there's lots of Santa Bobs out there, lots of. A lot of the guys' names were Robert, but they go by Santa Bob. My full name is Bobby. So, but Santa Bob, because Bob is what I've gone by as an adult. My dad went by that. My son goes by it. We're all three Bobs. Uh, that's why I use Santa Nick C. There's another Nick. Same way, Nick Casey. Absolutely correct. All right, Randy, we spent lots of time on those two
Fantastic as
topics.
always.
Always good, always fun. All right,
Thank you,
let's go
folks.
ahead and let's get into our SantaCloset.org trivia for the day.
Sounds good to me.
Hey everyone, Angela Mack here for Bob, Randall, and Company Live, the show about nothing. Season 3 of Bob Randall and Company Live is brought to you by santascloset.org, where you can find all your accessories for the discriminating Santa, Mrs. Claus, and the elves. Visit Santa Wade's website at santascloset.org today, where they are known for delivering unique, value-packed Santa and Mrs. Claus accessories since opening in 2004. The goal has always been to provide both a superior customer experience at a tremendous value. Their products are fairly priced, and Santa Wade strives to bring many different products to the Claus community. Visit the website and make your next season a truly special one. This is Angela Mack reminding you all to catch our show every Monday at 3 p.m. Central. Thanks for watching. Now let's get back to Bob, Randall, and Company Live and today's Monday Santa's Closet Trivia.
Okay, Randy, there's a few YouTube comments that didn't pop up in
Oh,
StreamYard that Angela brought up to my attention.
all
Let's
right.
go ahead and do our trivia, and then we'll come back to those handful of
All
YouTube
righty.
comments there. So
Again,
today is Monday Fun Day trivia, right? Today's topic is love is in the air.
Ooh, Love in the Air. Again, this is where we need the movie and the year of that movie. These are quotes from a movie. And again, there's two things. You get there. You can win. You're actually winning two things. To get your name goes in a hat for the scholarship for North Pole Cornerstones 2025, and then you also get a gift sent to you from Santa Closet. .org always does us a great job sending out some goodies. So here we go, folks. Love is in the air. Remember, we need the movie and the year. The first one is Tell Her That You Love Her. You've got nothing to lose. You'll always regret it if you don't. That's number one. Number two is a toy is never truly happy until it's loved by a child. Again, the first one, tell her that you love her. You've got nothing to lose. You'll always regret it if you don't, for number one. Number two is a toy will never truly be happy until it's loved by a child.
Love is
Movie
in the
and
air.
year.
Love is in the air.
Love is in the air. That'd be a good song. If I could sing, it'd be a good
Yeah.
song.
Yeah. All
Wherever
right,
you
guys, you all work on that before we do jump back onto
Yeah,
the hot
Yeah.
topics. I do want to add at this point because we are in the middle of the Santa's Closet. Santa's Closet will be at the Baymont Inn, 2200 West Wackerly Drive, Midland, Michigan, during the Charles W. Howard School. They will be open from noon on Wednesday, October 9th, and closing between 10 and 11. Other items, if you think you should add or not, that is a message to me because we want to also let everyone know that Sam with Sam and Company LLC will also be at the Baymont, and you're welcome to include going to see him also. The uh, Santa's Closet and Sam has been over there at the Baymont for years and years. Many of you who have been to C.W. Howard know that they don't do vendors. So vendors are attracted because of the sheer number of attendees at Charles W. Howard. So they've always kind of set up in a hotel really near where the activities are taking place for the C.W. Howard. So just to let everyone remind everyone that Santa's Closet will be at 2200 West Wackerly Drive, Midland, Michigan. That is the Baymont Inn there, and Sam and Company will be over with them. See if I missed anything. I think that's pretty much it. We just want to let everyone know that there is another Sanders.
Ooh, I love Santa's hot fudge.
Santa Vendor Expo going on up there at the same time, and some folks are participating in a new project that's being put together, and others are staying put where they were at. And Wade and Scarlett just wanted us to know that they were staying where they have been in recent years since taking over Santa's Closet from Tom, and that was where Tom always was. So, anyway, thank you for that. Now then, let's get back to these questions on YouTube that we had from the first segment, Randy. Some of them did pop up in our StreamYard feed, but some of them did not. And we don't want to miss these folks because we have lots of folks watching from YouTube nowadays, which we appreciate because it really helps us out a lot more than Facebook. We get nothing out of Facebook, where eventually we might get a little bit of something out of YouTube. See if I can find these real quick. Okay. So back to David Milmine. He says, this is where it is so beneficial having a working partner help Mrs. Claus. Phineas sets up for me most of the time, making it clear who we have. That's going back to your question, Randy.
That goes back to, and that's somebody finding the information out ahead of time. Is a boy, girl, before it gets to Santa or to Mrs. Claus, or Mrs. Claus does it, so you don't make that mistake. And that's great to have that buffer person. That's just a fantastic. That CYA. I know.
Diane Bean says, hello, friend. I don't know if she said hello to us or someone else, or if that was, meant towards that comment.
Yeah, probably meant towards the comment. Hello, friend. Yeah.
And Bill Coach says, I have been in the same position. Now I just stick with nice to see you unless I know their names.
And like I said before, we don't. If you're doing a corporate event, you're doing a big box store, you're doing a mall, you're doing breakfast with Santa. They're just random people by the hundreds. You won't know their names unless you know that that is the organizer's family, and that's told you earlier. And that's usually happens on something like that. Um, I do a tree lighting for a local city here, one of the tree lightings, and I know the families of the board of the city. I know the children's names, the parents' names of that, but the 500 people afterwards, it's just a production line. You don't know it then, but those I do. So
Yeah, exactly. And wouldn't it be nice in a perfect world? And this might be something Spangle, you still listen? Might be able to pick up on, but that with his trailer, his Santa trailer that he's put together, but that when you're in a corporate position or even at the mall would be so wonderful. Gosh, it would be so beneficial for every child to have a name tag as they come through the gate to see Santa, or when they come through the line to see Santa.
but some
Again,
are hard to pronounce, though. Some are hard to
100%
pronounce.
those
Some,
names are generic at times, but
yeah,
wouldn't it be?
boy. uh, I wish I would have kept this list of names that I did on a virtually thing. I just sent a virtual message out, and there was about 8 names, and I downloaded a thing to my phone for 4 pronunciations, and that was even it didn't get it because they were an ethnic name and it didn't get the right vernacular. So even though it pronounced it vernacular, or it wasn't it vernacular or whatever it was totally different. Um, so it's that would be cool to have names because then you could maybe help out a lot. It could
Yeah,
help out a lot, but I would
maybe
still.
2 out of 3 might work, right?
Yeah, there you go. It sure would. And that sometimes 2 out of 3, you're you're better off than anything else. Spangle says he's still here. Said
All
I'm
right,
here.
great. Well, maybe name tags. Maybe Jetta can do name tags before they come in to see you, or yeah, I'm sure they have their own system set up. But anyway, it was just a thought. All right, let's go ahead and get into our Talbot Insurance Services. Okie dokie. Let's go ahead and jump in here and let's go ahead and give our announcements for the week. First thing is we want to announce that Norfolk Cornerstones, the second annual sessions, and there's been a little bit of a change here. We haven't said anything up till now, but I'm going to go ahead and let the cat out of the bag because we're 99.9% sure this is the way it's going to be. We're going to add a bonus day. That's right. January 30th, Thursday, will be a bonus day. More to come on that in the next week or so as we release the rest of our curriculum and our instructor lineup. We have added several new instructors. They will be guest instructors, not part of the official NPC team, but guest instructors. This is going to be a fun class. I cannot wait. We set the bar high last year. When we walked out of there on Sunday night in February, we told ourselves, how are we going to top this? How are we going to make this even better? What can we do to refine it? What can we do to make the curriculum that we've set as a standard for the backbone of this school? What can we do to improve on that? And how you add more cool topics that go right along with what you're talking about, things that are needed to be talked about and learned for the community, and that we are doing. So it's going to be really, really cool. So it'll be January 30th, bonus day, January 31st, 2nd, 1st and 2nd, February 1st and 2nd. Boy, am I having trouble with that. 2025, San Antonio, Texas, Marriott Northwest. Save the date. Watch out for all of our media blitz that we're fixing to start doing. And just remember, think about coming. Talk to those who came back in February. They will tell you. And then make up your mind on your own. Santa Ana Holiday University. Santa Ana's Holiday University. Going to be in Scottsdale, Arizona, September 26th, 7th, 8th, and 9th of this year. Coming up at the end of this month. Deanna Golden, Tudor Broderick. Fantastic school. santanana.com. We'll check it out. All right, School of Santas, Branson, Missouri. This year will be July 17th, 18th, 19th, and 20th. There in beautiful Branson, Missouri. What more needs to be said about that other than Lee Andrews as the keynote speaker, along with a whole host of other guest instructors there also. Okay, Randy, let's get into this next segment. You ready?
Yeah, of course. The good segment is Tuesday Night Live. I hope you guys had a good time last week on the 150th episode. So now it's going on from 150. That's crazy. And tonight, what a way to kick that off. The after the 150th is Phil Wentz from Santa Village. Just a computer history book of the history of Santa and the things he's done, and it'll be a very very interesting and educational Tuesday Night Live tomorrow night, September 10th, with Phil Wentz. Again, he doesn't do a whole lot of do a whole lot of interviews and things like that. He's a busy man, and but he's just a wealth of history and knowledge. That's going to be very, very cool to hear. Very cool to hear about. So that's 151. Yes, that's 151. On the 17th, a week later, is Jenny Watts. She is actually a web designer and marketing. I always call those people the gurus because I'm not that good at marketing. I can make promo things, but I'm not good at marketing. That is fantastic. She'll talk. Jenny will talk about website design. She'll talk about how to market yourself. And see, even though we're Santa, we still need to market ourselves unless you just work for a big box store. It's all you want to do. That's fine too. You don't need to. But if you want to pick up home visits, corporate events, tree lights, all the things that are out there, TV, commercials, she can help you on marketing yourself for that. That'll be the 17th of September. The 24th of September is Larry and Sherry Davis performing in Santa Mrs. Claus. It's always great to get a duo up. Like I said a moment ago about Phineas and Santa, how they work together. Larry and Sherry will talk to us about how they work together and make their visits smoother and how they play off each other and all that. They're both alumni of North Pole Cornerstones, which Bob was just talking about, and of course School of Santa. So they've had a wealth of education and fellowship fun between everybody also. Then can you believe it's already October after that? October is Rachel Seipert,
I believe is how she pronounces it.
Seipert. Going to be a very, very unique thing. She's an author of a coffee table book about Santas. Bob and I were talking about this before about that Gordon wanted to make a coffee book about different Santas and about picture and all that. That's what she's doing. She's doing a table book. She's going to be the author about a book about Santas. And there was one came out a few years ago with the pictures and all that. Just a keepsake book, a fantastic book. I think this will be very interesting too to hear about and to see how, because we're going to want one on our table. We are. It's just something. It's our brothers and sisters in red. We're going to want them there. So that's October 1st. Rachel's going to be doing that.
She was at the event this last weekend, and she went around and did interviews with some of the Santa's Mrs. Clauses for this book. So if you were there this weekend at the gathering up there where Spangle's been, then you may have gotten an interview with her.
Wow. Then, of course, is October 8th. We've got Trish from Santa Family Reunion, that's October 8th. It's going to be a recap and a talk about that, about Santa Family Reunion of Galley and all that. It'll be a fun, interesting show. There's so much going on at those things. I wish I could come to more. Believe me, that's going to happen soon. Thank goodness this is going to be over and I can start traveling. But we'll talk about that later. Then on October 15th, Cherry Hill. You can't forget Cherry Hill. About what's going on, the last minute things that they're going to be needing. Becky and all are going to be needing for the holiday season. They've got hundreds and hundreds of opportunities for Santas. And of course, Mrs. Claus is out there across the U.S. So they'll be here on October 15th. Then the 22nd is the 4th annual roundtable. Get together with a bunch of people from Red Suit holiday performers. Going to talk about those last minute things like we just did at the beginning here about the names. We're going to go through all that stuff again. Kind of give you that last shot in the arm before the holiday season to get you all energized, because that's the 22nd of October. Then the 29th is the Halloween special coming up. It's always a hoot. It's always a good time. Always a good time at the Halloween special. Just so many cool costumes, and it's just fun to wrap up a year with a great some fantastic costumes out there, and just people having fun. And that's what we're all here for, is fun, to connect with our other brothers and sisters. Then, was it the 5th or the 6th? I don't have my paper in front of me. The 5th or the 6th of November? It's probably the 5th or the 6th, whenever the Tuesday night.
Hold
It's the
on. I think the 5th. Let me look. I've got it
Yep.
right here.
The 5th of
5th.
November. It's crazy to say it'll be the last TNL of the season. It'll be the last one of the season. Take a sabbatical because of November, December, and we take a little time off in January to recoup, to redo some things, to start up again in November. Of course, they got North Pole Cornerstones coming up, so they're very, very busy doing that. But that'll be the November 5th, and we're all going to make people happy in our chair at that time, and that's what we'll be doing. We're too busy. We would love to have you join us, but we're going to be too busy. We're going to be too busy.
Yeah, for sure. And just to let everyone, or remind everyone, actually, because we've already mentioned it, but we'll mention it again. Only 9 more shows left in 2024 for us here on Monday, Bob Randall and Company. 9 more shows left for Tuesday Night Live. And September 11th, coming up this week, is the last show of the season for the Kringle Brothers. So you don't want to miss that last show. Kringle Brothers is coming Wednesday. Also, back to the Halloween show. Guys, if you are interested in being a contestant on our Halloween show, our 4th annual, reach out and let us know that you want to sign up. It's free. Randy, get it out. You ready?
And pow!
It's free, so you don't have to pay anything.
Not
develop
just the Halloween show. Every one of these shows are free, guys.
Yes, that's true. That's correct. But just develop a character. You can't go as Santa if you're a Santa. You can't go as Mrs. Claus if you're Mrs. Claus. Now, Randy brought up a great concept. If Santa wants to come as a Mrs. Claus or Mrs. Claus wants to come as a Santa, that's kind of almost crossing the line, because I think Santa Mel might win that one.
Yeah, that's the problem. Yeah, that's it.
So
Yeah,
I don't know about that. But
yeah,
anyway,
that might not work. Yeah, that's
but we do have several people already put their name in the hat and have already come up with characters, Ray Bradshaw being one of them. And Ray's got a heck of an outfit again this year. I mean, he's tough to beat now, let me tell you. And Ray, answer to your question on the Sat Bobs. Don't look like the Sat Bobs fall session is going to happen this year in North Texas. Multiple reasons why that I won't go into too deep here, but let me just say that I have taken on the Super Santa Sunday in Virginia Beach, Virginia. The middle of February 2025 will be the first time that I will be able to come back out with the Sat Bob's curriculum. That will be a 2-day course up there, 3 hours on Saturday and a full day on Sunday. If you're interested in doing Super Santa Sunday, put that term into your search engine and it will pop up and tell you everything you need to know. That's a clown school that goes on there the previous days leading up to Super Santa Sunday. This will be their 40th year for the Clown College and their last. They're going to discontinue the clown portion of that after this year and only stick with the Santa portion. That's why they're expanding from just Sunday, getting into Saturday, and starting next year, that will be at least a 2-day class. Not the 2025 session, but 2026 will be at least a two full days of Sunday for Santa up there that they're going to be doing. So anyway, there's a number of reasons. One is the business side of the legal side of what I've had to do with Gordon's uh, books. Let's put it that way. With the books themselves, the books I speak of are the course books. Uh, Hopefully, we'll have that resolved and everything will be good in 2025. So, again, my apologies. We tried, we worked on it, but it just doesn't look like we're going to be able to put that together for this fall. All right, Randy. A lot going on, brother.
Yeah, that's great. That's what this business is. It's amazing. Every week there's something going on, and the people outside don't understand. And I shouldn't say outside, but that aren't in the red suit or holiday performance community don't understand how much what we do week in and week out to better ourselves, to make their children, their family happier, and make magical moments forever. I mean, they don't realize what we do.
Even at that, when you start talking about business aspects of anything, legalities can get in the way, as we mentioned in our first segment today. How
Yep.
you get yourself in legal trouble. You got to be careful, and I mean between North Pole Cornerstone, Sat Bob's, the Tuesday Night Live, the Monday Show. I mean, I could continue to eating meats for Texas State standards. Have I bitten off more than I can chew? I'll tell you what, I'm chewing really hard and trying to keep up the best I can. So
Those elephants keep on growing and growing, don't they?
bear with me, guys. Bear with me. All right, let's get into our trivia answer. You ready?
All righty, guys. Here's the trivia question for today is, again, tell her you love her. You've got nothing to lose. You'll always regret it if you don't. And the second one was, a toy was never truly happy until it's loved by a child. Number one is from the movie Love Actuality in 2003. And number two quote came from Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer in 1964. And the
That's
winner
correct.
is
Paul
Angela.
and
Paul Anderson.
Congratulations, Paul. All right.
Yeah.
Oh, Actuality 2003 and Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer in 1964.
Paul, I don't know if I have your address or not, and I know you. I think he's across the border, isn't he?
Yeah, I believe Paul is. Yes.
Yeah, I think he is. So send me your address and let me see what we can do there, Paul. And also your name goes into the drawing for the NPC North Pole Cornerstones for February 2025. So, and by the way, I'm glad I thought of that. We will be doing the drawing for that on our closeout ending season show November 5th. That'll give you time to prepare if you are the winner, since the school won't be until the end of January. So
Gives you November,
there you go.
December, January. Give you 3 months to get all that prepared.
Something we needed to say, and I forgot to mention it earlier, and that made me think about it right there. All right, fantastic. Are you ready to do some TIPS?
Yes, let's do some tips, everybody. Woo-hoo. Fun,
Go.
fun, fun. Hi, everybody, and thank you for joining me at Santa's Tips. I want to just thank you again for giving me this chance to do this all the time for everybody. This is something I think most of us remember as a child. This is, you remember what a Jacob's ladder is? When we were a child, of course, we would take it and flip it down, and it would go down. Well, this is a newer style one. It's just made out of cardboard. It's not like the olden days, the wooden one. But what's cool about it is it's got shiny like ornaments on it. So I bought a couple of these, and I just got it in the other day to get some ideas about how it could be done as a magic prop or as a story, because this is actually a little different. Of course, it's red, and then this one automatically then quickly changes colors, which is very unique. I think it's very unique. Instead of a Jacob's ladder just does it, this one actually will change colors. So I saw it, so I haven't come up with an idea yet to say to the children. Whoops. To start it out, let's say with all red. Whoops. I'll take this one. This one will be better. This one's actually silver. It's probably sees better on camera anyway in silver. Um, to something about a Christmas tree ornaments and all that, and that how easy you can change a color and have the children uh, talk about colors and automatically just switch. I think the children nowadays don't even know what a Jacob's ladder is. So when I saw it advertised, I said, "There's got to be something I can do um, to interact with the families, the children, about them because it's such an old concept." I kind of wonder, does anybody know why it was called Jacob's ladder? Um, but this one is neater than just the thing folding. It changes colors, which there's got to be a good story about what we can do on it. I just wanted to bring it up because I just just picked it up in the mail today. So I just maybe if you guys can send me some ideas and some thought ideas about that. It's just something to have in your with you, and besides, it's just I think it'd be fun for children also. Something they're not used to playing with. In fact, I think I have a real Jacob's ladder up there out of wood. Um, but this one could be used a little bit more because we can make a storm mirror out of it because the color changed and maybe the ornaments colors or garland or something. But that's just a thought. So let's go back to the thing that a couple weeks ago I showed you a little trick about putting some silks in a bag, and I'm just going to change it around a little bit. Of course, everybody, this is something that you can have Mrs. Claus or an elf or do help you with, and it can be as short as you want or as quick as you want. You can bring out 4 silks, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and you ask the children, of course, what does the yellow one stand for? Of course, the star on the Christmas tree, and the red, of course, of Santa's suit, and um, the white as the snow is a beard or snow outside, whatever. Of course, then a Christmas tree. So that's what you can do a complete talk to children about that. But I showed you a bag last week or a couple weeks ago. That's called this is just like a big handkerchief is what we're going to put it in this time. Something a little different. You can use different props for the same, a little different effect. And you can have a child come up and help you. It doesn't matter. This is nothing you have to worry about. You just put them in there and you have the child hold it and they can yell Merry Christmas or whatever you want to do, and you just shake it and the handkerchiefs are gone. Of course, where did they go? And you can take them. Of course, I love to do things out of poster board because it's inexpensive and it packs flat. So this is just folded pieces of paper, and you just tell the children what were the colors again, and the red, white, the green, the blue, and what is that thing you say every year? Merry Christmas. And of course, you reach down in here. And that says Merry Christmas. So it's, again, something you can do. Then take this as Merry Christmas. I always like then to turn it into a song. And, there's nothing better than we wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry. It's an easy way to turn, or at the ending, Merry Christmas. Oh, Santa's got to go. Or an ending because you're done. It's an easy way to turn it into something else. I showed this prop on the other day on Mel's thing. It's just a piece of cardboard with a little, basically, pocket on the inside. So when a handkerchief goes into here, you can put streamers if you want to, but you don't see anything. It's nothing. It's completely flat. Then you just close it up, and then of course that opens up, and then you produce that out of there. This one here is called a trick called a devil hank. Now this is used by magicians for a lot of other things. It's just a double-sided handkerchief, with a pocket in it. Let me get the handkerchiefs out of there. They fall way down into there. So when you fold it up, you then have the pocket there, and you put the handkerchiefs in the pocket. It's much better when you're standing up working. And then you can just drop it, and they go nowhere. They're right inside. You can, of course, this is just made out of. You go to Joann Fabrics, you can even buy nice Christmas material. I use this one. It's just stars and it's red, so I use this for a bunch of just the regular magic too. But it's just one more way to take a little bit of magic, some silks that pack small and everything else, and turn it into a song, turn it into your ending. Because we always talk about how we want to end, where pictures are done. Well, let's do a quick trick. Merry Christmas. Oh, Santa's got to go. And it kind of puts a, that old stop on the ending on the show. Wish you a Merry Christmas. I produced the silk. It's time to go. Jacob's Ladder, I haven't gotten any real routine yet. So if you guys want to help me with that, I would be grateful to help me with some really cool wording to make that as a fun thing to talk to the children about. If it's about ornaments, if it's about, I'm not sure yet. That's the only thing I think of at first. But I bought a couple. Of course, I'm an eBay fanatic, so I found them on there, and always got to think about that. And I told you last year, this is something that, remember, guys, our mind and our imagination is the most magical thing we have. It's limitless. We can create whatever mind almost thinks about, come up with ideas, because we write our backstories, we write the stories, we write the beliefs to the children. So do it, and things like that. I'll figure out something because it's going to be fun, and I just like to do it. Thank you again so very much. As always, I am so blessed and so honored to be a part of Monday and Tuesday Night Live crew. And you guys have all been fantastic helping out today. Thank you very much. See you soon.
What's that heebie jeebie wooby
Wee
wooby?
would you?
Oh, that gets me every time you say that.
I
Jacob's Ladder is pretty cool. I'm like you. How do you use it though? I mean,
yeah,
maybe the audience
yeah.
come up with
I just would like to. It looks Christmassy, and most children don't know what a Jacob's Ladder is. They don't even know the concept, and it folds very quickly in front of their eyes. It changes color very, very fast. So I think it would be something that could be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I
Just
don't
got to
think
figure
they'll
out how to
last
use it.
very long because the way they're made, it's not really the best quality. But I it's just that it's especially if you do there's some I have a, a home visit 18 years, this one family, and it's always
Wow.
every year is something different. I don't know if I'll do this or not, but there's always something I do different with them. Even though they want the basics all the time, I can't go without reading 'Twas the Night Before Christmas. I did add the little mouse guys last year, little mice that come out of the box when I read the story. So little things like that, just add something, change it up. So and it just keeps our juices flowing, keeps our
Okay.
imagination, and keeps our mind thinking about what we can do. Because we don't need to steal, like Bob talked about earlier. It's a trick. It's something you found. Oh, I can do it myself. I'll do it. Be unique. Be an individual. Because, like I said so many times, you're selling yourself. There's thousands and thousands of Santas out there. You got to stand out. So, thank you again, guys. As always, thank you so much.
We talked about integrity and all that stuff in that first segment, but reputation is another word that goes hand in hand there with that. Okay, well, that's pretty cool. That's fun. Yeah, and like I say, keep it fresh for those who you visit year in and year out that you want something little, something new. You know what though? You gave me an idea and I know you can't travel yet, but we're already looking forward to North Pole Cornerstones 2026. I got an idea for you. because I'm going to have you come to that for sure. Okay, let's move on. We'll talk about that behind the scenes.
Oh, I can't
Let's
wait.
go ahead and let's jump into our Santa's Vintage Toy Vault this week, going back to the 60s. We did 50s, 60s, 70s. Last week was 50s. Now we're back up to the 60s. I got four this week that's I think everybody's going to enjoy. So let's have Angela roll the video. That's what
Wow.
stands out to me on that particular one. Number one, the transistor radios. I have one. I don't know how many of you out there might have had one, but
Been in
crystal earphones. Did you catch that?
crystal earphones. No, I missed.
Yeah,
Wow.
they're little earplug, like earbuds, but they were crystal.
Wow.
Get a chance, go back and rewatch
I'll
that
have to write that see the part.
and
Yeah,
check
that's
those out. That was the thing that stood out on there about me because I didn't realize that I don't remember having that. I remember
I
having
don't
the
either.
transistor radio, but I don't remember those little earbuds. Uh,
Remember that antenna that always broke because you were
1960.
screaming
Yeah,
it back and forth. That antenna that always broke.
but remember the transistor radio was revolutionary in 1960 because before that it was tubes
Yeah.
and different things. And for the first time, we had this little small pocket-sized radio that
You
was a
were cool if you
transistor.
had one.
And of course, mainly all you had back then was AM radios and signals. But pretty cool. The GI Joe you had mentioned, GI Joe, $2.32 in 1964.
Crazy. I
Again, worth hundreds of dollars today if you've got any of the
hundred.
originals in original packaging.
They went
The
through a
series,
lot of transitions through the years too to get back on track because they were done playing with action figures for years, and the only reason they came up with was because of Barbie.
yeah.
That's what got GI Joe going because how. But
Well,
guy wasn't going to play with a Barbie doll, so he had to
no,
have an action figure. So, and how they came up with the name was very interesting. I watched a TV show about GI Joe about how it came up with that, and it's
but there was a period there in the '60s when, like all types of different girls' dolls, like Chatty Cathy, and I mean, there's just more and more of those were produced in the '60s. The action figures, and not just GI Joe, but there was many, many, many others, even Ken to go alongside Barbie. But that was a period in time when the market was flooded with these things because one person had an idea and everybody jumped on the bandwagon. But the story with the fringe on top was very unique,
that's a
and
lot of money in those days. $40 for that thing. You
$40
you
equivalent
had
to
to be somebody
today's
of
market.
money to have one of those.
Now we lived in a house. It was a rent house. It was when I was in well, when I started school, actually all the way up to the third grade, we lived in this particular house out here, not far from where we live now. But it was a rent house before my mom and dad bought a house for the first time. But my father and grandfather poured a sidewalk, and our backyard was probably the football field and a half, maybe 2 football field lengths in size. This was a humongous deep backyard, and they had poured a sidewalk. And for Christmas, me and my sister got that Surrey with the fringe on top. And that picture, I mean, it looks like me and my sister. I mean, it's crazy how much we resemble it. And of course, now I had the cowboy boots and the cowboy hat, and the whole 9 yards, just like you saw in the picture. But
Wow.
I had these little coveralls on. They were the engineer coveralls. They were that
Yeah.
gray and white striped little
Yeah.
coveralls that I wore. But I can remember just like it was yesterday how cool that thing was. And of course, I was sitting in the back pedal and steering. My little sister sit up front. She being 4 years younger than me, of course, in 1960, I was 7, so she was only 3. We had so much fun with that thing. Just riding up down that sidewalk. Of course, we'd have to get
That's
off.
all you had to do then to entertain yourself. That's all you had to do. You
We had,
didn't
we had to
have
get
to
off
do
and
this.
turn it around to go, back down the sidewalk the other way. Get off, turn it around. It was exercise. We had so
Uh,
much fun with that. And
that's
of
great.
course, what can you say about the game of Twister? Still popular,
Yeah.
still played at parties.
Still
Even
playing.
Gabor made that famous on the Johnny Carson show, and $3.88 when it came out.
That's crazy for a plastic sheet with dots on it and a spinner. You
And a
know,
card with a spinner, exactly.
that's it. That's just
1966. Unbelievable.
that's it. But
All
yeah,
right, well, we've had fun with that segment. We may try to run it. We'll do at least one more segment on that for the 1970s. But I'm thinking about maybe going back a little bit earlier than that. Not the reason I started the 50s, 60s, and 70s because that's the age group that most of us will be in.
yeah.
But it might be interesting for a week or two to go back into the 20s and 30s and 40s.
Wow.
I did a little research yesterday, like skateboards. Skateboards were popular in the 60s, but they have a history that goes way back
I
beyond
had
that
no
that I didn't
idea.
realize.
I had no idea it was before the 60s. I had no idea.
Pogo sticks.
Pogo sticks. Oh,
They were very
those things
popular
were
in the 60s.
dangerous. And what are those things called? You walked on. You put your feet on. You were like 3 feet taller.
Stilts.
Stilts. Yeah.
Yeah. But the pogo stick goes back to the 1800s.
That's crazy. A pogo stick that would kill you.
I didn't realize it. I mean, I was just, I was intrigued, and I get off into some of the stuff, and then one thing leads to another, and before you know it, you Google something. For instance, here's a good story. You Google something, and you put in the first 3 words, and instantly Google or even YouTube. Let's say YouTube. You put something in on YouTube. You put the first 3 words in, and it pops up suggestions.
Suggestions.
Well,
Yeah.
the very first thing that pops up intrigues you, so you forget about what you're going over to see, and you start watching that. And then you watch something else. You watch something else before you know it. You spent 2 hours watching stuff you didn't even go over there to intend to watch. And then you go, oh, yeah, I went over to do this. And then you go back and try to do that. And it's been fun.
Oh, what is that saying? Oh, look at the squirrel. Is that what you're trying to say?
There you go. All right, guys. Thanks, everyone,
Fantastic.
so much for coming in with us today and enjoying this day. Me and Randy had a lot of fun today. I hope you have too. And we hope to see you back here next week. Don't forget tomorrow night, Bill Wentz. You got to check that one out. If you haven't watched the show on Tuesday night yet, you got to get there. That man's history. I mean, I did not realize he started at such a young age. That's the one thing that pops out to me from the very beginning is when he got started and how long he's been at Santa's Village in Dundee, Illinois. See everyone later. Thanks, Randy.
Bye, guys. Thank you. See you soon.